And good evening.
Well,
What's going on? How y'all doing?
Excellent.
Good.
good.
How you
Boy,
Good. Y'all, I'm hot. Let me just put that out there.
You're a good fan. I
I
was
stay
looking
with
at
a
some
fan.
fans. Dollar Tree got some fans like that.
Yeah, I got like every color Dollar Tree had, and I'm gonna just use all of them
Might as
because I
well.
need
They don't.
to. Absolutely. Look, while I'm sitting up here whispering and everything, I'm whispering because I'm not in my own home, so I can't be all animated and loud. I don't have buffers here like I usually do. So I'm going to whisper. Anyway, welcome. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So welcome you guys to the Sex Magic Series again. I'm Heather, and of course we have Jean over here, and we have our special guest for Moist Mondays. We have Lady D Emerald, and we have Cameron. So today is the last day of the series, or the last week of the series for the Sex Magic situation. And we were really wanted to get more so into like the candle and sigil magic and all that kind of stuff. And y'all just have to know we have spirited discussions well before we get started. And they just kind of make their way onto the show and everything. And so we're going to talk a little bit about all of that. So I think we'll get started. How y'all want to start? Okay,
I
everybody
think we
quiet.
need to really talk about what candle magic and sigil magic is because a lot of people don't know or understand it.
Okay.
Or how to
Okay.
use it to their advantage. And so I work a lot with candle magic. So I guess I'll go first as I already start talking. But candle magic is literally you are using a candle to set an intention, right? We do this automatically in any religion or spiritual practice. Everyone uses candle magic. When you light that candle for your dead person, when you light a candle, even just to be like, I want to feel sexy, so I'm gonna light this candle, or I want to relax, so I'm gonna light this candle. Like that is the smallest inkling of candle magic. But of course, now most people know it as like, oh, they're trying to manifest a house or money, or some of y'all need to be doing like cord cutting stuff. But anyways, and so candle magic can be used in conjunction with other types of magic. Now you can get into like a lot of depth about candle magic and how to use it, but you can dress your candle, which is like just putting herbs on it. Some people have a lot of fire placements in their chart, and so like they really pay attention to the candle flame. Some people talk to the candle flame if they have a lot of Mercury energy in their chart, and so candle magic can go any type of way, and you can use candle magic in conjunction with sigil magic as well. So.
Okay, let me go back and I always come as the novice of the group so that I can give the perspective of someone that just doesn't understand anything from zero. When you say dress the candle, go ahead and explain to the people what that means.
When you dress a candle, wow, I should have. Hold on, let me show you. So,
And yeah, we always have props here on the
okay.
show.
So this is a 7-day candle that I made, like literally pour the candle wax and dress. So if you're using a 7-day candle, so I'm not supposed to on this because it's a special release coming out. But you want to a lot of times I say in hoodoo especially, we use what we get. So if you're dressing a candle and all you have is olive oil, you put some olive oil on it and you put your herbs that go to the like particular intention that you're setting. I like to use lang lang oil, which is like more of an essential oil. If I want something attracting to me, I use sweet almond oil. I put it on the candle. I don't have another candle near me, but say this is like a time candle. I like wipe the oil on it as above, so below, and then I like sprinkle the herbs on it. That's dressing a candle. And so, I think I don't know if I'll do a class on candle magic anytime soon, but like that's really the basics of candle magic, of like dressing even your with intention. So dressing it is literally dressing it up. Like put the oil on so be moisturized. The herbs are, the clothes in a sense. You can say like that. So, but 7 candles aren't gonna look like this. Just some people poke holes in their 7-day candles and then put the oil in there and then put the herbs and then light it. If you're using chime candles, you do what I just said about wiping the oil on it and then sprinkling the herbs on it.
So basically,
yes.
For the people that don't get it, that just means you're getting the candle ready for,
Mhm.
the situation. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that we are also um, helping the people that need the help. Also, since we're talking about candle, first of all, let me just talk about this Lady D Emerald candle right here. Anyway, that's my personalized candle for my
The fact that you brought it with you.
Oh yeah, this was like one of the first things I packed. I was like, okay, so I have to be in Nashville. I was like, what do I pack? Not clothes, not shoes, not anything like toothbrush or anything. I was like, let me put my candle in the car.
Yeah,
This candle goes for me. Listen, and in the shower is, guess what? What's in the shower? The oil.
What is the body oil?
The body oil. I do not leave home without either one. Like I don't even feel right if I don't have that body oil out. Like I don't feel right. It ain't right.
Y'all so funny. You're so funny.
I have to have it. I have to have it. So yeah. But yeah, I wanted to get into, let's go ahead and talk about, like dressing the candles. Let's talk about, particularly the candle magic of it all. So I'm letting y'all go, and all I'm doing is like I said, facilitating this.
Right. So I wanted to actually talk about colors, and I actually want Cam to talk about that if you're cool with that, bro. Like color is important. There's a specific magic that goes with each color of candle that you have. So Cam, you down to talk about that, brother?
Let me know if I'm hearing you. You said you want to talk about like each color of candle and what it means. Is that what you said? Because it keeps going in and out.
Yeah. So when you're doing candle magic, there, depending upon what you're doing, you may need a specific color. Red for Mars, passion, things of that sort. Blue for higher, consciousness and shit like that. Certain planets, things like that. So yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and what I work with multiple. So I guess I would say I work with different lineages and traditions. Well, as far as like astrological magic goes, when it comes to astrological magic, I use black for what's called the shadow planets, and the shadow planets is like Rahu, Ketu, which would be the north node and the south node, because they're like invisible, you can't see them. So they're shadow planets, and also when it comes to Rahu and Ketu, those are. We're not even going to talk about Rahu and K2. You don't want to even work with those now. You have to be on a different level. So I shouldn't have even said that. So let's take a step back. Okay, so red for Mars.
That's another level of astrology.
Yeah, it's totally another level. 1,000%. Yeah. So red for Mars. I use green for Mercury. I oftentimes use white for Venus. I use yellow for Jupiter. For Saturn, I use blue. And the sun, I use orange, or I use yellow, or I use red, depending on what I'm trying to bring out of the sun. Right? Most of the time, I use like an orange or a yellow. Orange feels more like the rising sun in the morning, and I'm usually trying to work with that energy. And it's more gentle too. I like the gentle feel of the morning sun energy of when I'm trying to create stuff most times. And in the moon, I use silver, gray, or blue for the moon too. So those are the colors that I use for the planets.
Right.
What colors? Yeah, what colors? Go ahead.
No. Go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
No. I was going to ask you a question, but I'm listening. What were you about to say?
Well, I was also going to ask you, like, what is the particular significance of each color, if you don't mind explaining?
Yeah, totally. So in astrology, a lot of times what it really is just the science of light and understanding how light works. And if you understand how light works, then you can understand how the planets are influencing things. And each planet has a specific gemstone or gemstone colors that go with it that are used for what's called radiation. And each one of those planets refract those colors of light.
Right.
So you're allowed to like essentially absorb the nature of that planet through that color. So that's why we use those colors. Like Jupiter, use yellow yellow sapphire for Jupiter, emerald for Mercury, red coral for Mars, and these are things that I bring in too. Like sometimes I use those things like either in the candle if it's not yellow sapphire, because yellow sapphire is so fucking expensive. You don't probably want to do that unless it's like a once in like every 12 years thing potentially, if you're gonna do something like that. But yeah, so just it goes with the colors of the crystals. It goes with the colors that the planet refracts.
Right.
So that's why we use those specifically.
It's interesting you said that because what I do is like slightly different. Like, so red, is for so I use red, white, and black for protection. Because red is more like war, like action, right? And so so like real turn off, but also red is like passion and sacral chakra work. Not sacral, but root chakra work. And so, and like Mercury, I tend to use white, but also like as like a hoodoo practitioner, I've gotten to a point that colors don't matter. But that's because of how I've grown in my work. Like if I really want to, if I do use color, it's for a client. So like I use light blue candles for peace. So I like to use them on like Sundays and Mondays or even Saturdays if I'm cleaning and I need like peace within the house because y'all done argued in my house for some reason. And I use purple for people if they need to get in touch with their higher selves or their spirit teams. Because purple is about, kind of transcends, right? I think white and black are like colors that you can use for anything.
Totally.
So an orange is definitely like road opener, big Leo. I feel like like energy. And I tend to use green for like if you're trying to get something in the physical, like manifest something in the physical. So I tend to actually use it with Jupiter in abundance. And so I'm like, I have to think about how you use that as well and like see how things work out. So
yeah. And also I was given like the version that is like the standard chill version, whereas because I use all the like even if I'm doing something for Mercury, right? Like the last Mercury candle that I made that had sigils on it and in it was multicolored. Right, because that's like what was happening at that point in time. Whereas like in that election that I did, like when I made the candle, it literally is like I think it was like a once in 3 years candle that I could make because of where Mercury exactly was. So there's like all these other layers that go in it, So always being mindful of that. Like wherever somebody starts, and just like getting a one-to-one correspondence to start with, and then blossom forth from there. And there's so many different traditions. It's just like you got to tune into like what's really, really true. So yeah, but yeah, black and white, those are so universal. It feels like, and yeah,
and that further shows like that as it pertains to like candle magic and magic in general, there are levels to this game. You know, they're beginners, intermediate, you know, masters, so on and so forth, gods, wizards, all of that good stuff. So yeah, you know, because what you said, like it just further substantiates that, you know, there are certain colors that generally people associate with certain planets, and you touched on some of them. Mars red, you know, things like that. Jupiter green, you know, we touch on those things. So yeah, definitely.
I have a question. Do you use purple for Venus at all sometimes?
I'm sorry.
the only way I would use purple for Venus is like when it's in compilation with Jupiter. The fusion of the two, I use purple for that. You know, that one is really nice because they're the two benefics, and the two benefics bring wisdom and discernment within the reality in which all the beneficial things happen. So that's how I work with those two together in that way. Yeah.
Did that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I don't wrote that down. Need that for my notes.
Isn't it funny, like how all this conversation is going on, but also we learn from each other about what works for us and what, while we're teaching everyone and showing everyone, we're also learning with each other. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah. The greatest teacher is always a student, you know, so that's always good to be mindful of too.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I was just gonna point that out. It's funny that you said that, Heather.
Yeah. We all tend to gain something from each other when we're engaging in these episodes. You know, we have so much of a wealth of knowledge amongst us, but we're also able to, guide each other as to, this is how we can improve each other. And it always comes from a good, genuine place where we're learning and not, chastising. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so true. Even last week when you said something, you gave a suggestion. I think you gave a suggestion, lady. I took the suggestion and I started writing out stuff myself. And since last week, I got this thing called a basti, where it's like an oil treatment. It's a Ayurvedic oil treatment. Yeah. And then I got a massage today, right? Because I was like, I feel like I know what I want in this situation now. Like I could feel it, you know. So yeah, it was so helpful.
Awesome.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh my goodness. So y'all, let's get on into it some more, because the other thing was the sigil magic. Are we good on the candle magic at this point, or do y'all feel like y'all need to add more to it?
I mean, there's man, like the knowledge on candle magic and sigil magic is so deep. It's like definitely as deep as an ocean or more, So we can talk about this for days on end and still not hit the bottom. But we've given a good pretext for people to, to at least start their personal practice.
Right. Yeah, and be able to tune in and not be fearful of did I get the right color? I'm being all shaky about it. Find some stable ground, in the orientation. Also, one thing with magic is particularly when it pertains to sex magic, I think that it's really I'm gonna say I'm very mindful of when I'm lighting the candle. Am I lighting it at the beginning of the day to have the energy like build up, or am I like, are we like lighting it together? Is it like, do we both bring a candle to the situation? You know,
Yeah.
all those things. I feel like those are really important and things to consider, right? Because I do different things
Yeah.
at different times, but those are just things to consider. So yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
think
So
it's
let me
also
just get in. Go ahead. Go ahead, Khadija.
no, I was like, because that's actually really important to like to me as well as like setting the scene. Like if
Right.
you're gonna be using candles, you need to make sure like, are you gonna have like one long like red 7-day candle and make sure that flame is like really strong because like for if you looking at flame and candle mat, well if you look at candle match, you need to really know what that flame represents. If it's like a strong flame and it's steady, you're good. Now you're gonna have that like red 7-day candle for like passion and sex, and then like a small chime candle because if you're doing it by yourself because you need self-love, and so you're doing like a pink chime candle for like what are you doing? Like how are you setting like I think candle magic is also important for like setting the scene. And yeah, we talk about red, but like pink is really important. Like when people come to me for love readings, I had a love reading yesterday. I said, okay, so you want to do anything, you need a pink candle. Self-love. You're not gonna get to the relationship part yet because you get trauma from your last relationship, which ended
Right.
like 4 years ago. So like you can't that can even block you with like the sex magic you're trying to do with the new candle if you not like haven't dealt with other stuff. But that's my tangent. Go on, Kelly.
I just wanted to add because, on the sexuality side, I don't necessarily deal with sex magic as much as I'm dealing with just setting the scene in order to get people to relax and get people to tune in to each other. So I kind of guess I am, but I just never called it that because,
Right.
Like I said, new to the game. So, I think that also, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I also think it's important that if they're doing candles and everything, because we talk about candles a lot, we have massage candles, we have all these different candles that do different things, the lickable candles, anyway, all the candles in the world. When you are using these candles specifically for candle magic, is it not necessary to make sure that you have these set aside and you only use them for that purpose? Like don't use a candle that you've been using to, like you said, clean the house with, and bring it into the same space that you're looking to create that magic with. And when you're done with it, how do you properly discard of the candle? Do you let it burn out, or do you just, dispose of it once you're done with said ritual? Go.
Good.
Gotcha. Yeah, love that question.
Yeah.
The way I see it is all about like the intentionality of it, right? Because if you want to bring, let's say you want to bring passion into the home, like I might just add in a white candle with the red candle, right? So it's like I'm purifying things as I'm getting ready to set the scene for the passion. So bringing things in, as long as it has the intentionality around it, I think it can be fine. That's my take on it. However, most of the times I wouldn't do it. Yeah. But the intentionality is what's most important, but I wouldn't do it personally. But sometimes there's been a few times I have like burned a candle and like everything that we did for like the next like 3 or 4 days was like building up to it. So that included cleaning the house, but the candle wasn't like just like over there and then over here. It was in the spot that it needed to be when we were going to like essentially make it happen. So yeah.
Okay. Anybody else want to
All
add to
right.
that?
And break the
Okay,
candle when you dispose of it. That's what I do.
And do what?
So
I break the candle when I'm
Okay.
done with the candle. I break it after I read it.
oh yeah, because reading candles a whole nother direction we could go.
That's a whole different situation.
Right. So I'm gonna say this. Okay. The size of your candle needs to correspond with what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do something long lasting, you need a 7-day candle. If you need something just for tonight, you need a tea light or a small chimed candle or one of those, what are they called? Table taper candles, whatever.
Taper
But there's
candles.
different, yeah. So I do not like we're talking about sex magic. You need to, if you use a 7-day candle, you need to any candle, you need for this is hoodoo talking, my hoodoo self talking, and what I do. You burn that candle all the way down. So that's why I say you have to go with what you like. What's your intention? If you are using sex magic to conceive, you need a 7-day candle. Y'all need to be doing it every single day during your ovulation and having a candle in that bedroom lit. Like your energy from like your sexual relation should be fueling that candle. After that candle is done all the way, any candle once it's done all the way, I like to cleanse it. I like to thank whatever, and then I throw it in the garbage. That's just my hoodoo take. That's what I do. And of course, with every candle, you can read it or whatever. And like I said, that's a whole nother conversation. But if you're doing like masturbation by yourself, like, and it's nothing like super big, trying to manifest something super big, do a tea light candle, do a little chime candle. I mean, if you're trying to have an all night session, yeah, do a long taper candle and have fun. Go crazy, do you. But I always say like relationshipy, if y'all are in relationships and you're doing like candle magic intentional, I say, and you're trying to go towards something like if like every Friday y'all have a date night and y'all want to ignite the passion, have that 7-day candle and light it, right? And so to me, that question really depends on like what type of candle you have and how do you dispose of it. So for my 7-day candles, I make sure I cleanse and sage them out once I'm done with like reading like them or whatever. And then, well, these days I know how to recycle them for my own usage, but just throw it in the glass recycling or in the trash after you cleanse them. You want that energy to go. You want the intention to fully go, right? And so I tell people through the hoodoo lens, you make sure that that candle is finished, and if it stops before then, something is blocking. So I take.
Let me add to this before anybody else jumps in. So like since we're talking about fertility and conceiving and ovulation, just want to throw this in here. If you're trying to conceive a girl, you do like 3 days prior to ovulation. And if it's a boy, if you're trying to conceive a boy, you do it day of ovulation and day after. But
get our own magic in there, y'all.
And at the same time, if your chart said, no, I'm just playing, but there is a such thing as fertility astrology. And if your chart, Cam, I know you would say the same thing, your chart is going to really, if you go to fertility astrology, a lot of times it already, if you don't have them planets in them certain houses that govern children and like fertility, you just have to live with them 15 boys you get. Like that lady on TikTok, they kept trying, all they had was 5 boys, and then she was pregnant with number 6. I was like, baby, y'all should have went to an astrologer or a spiritualist. They could have told you like you wasn't gonna have no boys. I mean, no girls. You gonna have straight boys.
Yeah, who had 4 boys in a row?
I do. I mean, well, at least but you probably had like I say if y'all really trying to get into like this, do what Heather's saying, and also like reach out to like an astrologer as well who does fertility astrology, because that together they create some powerful stuff. And I don't get time for it, but I'm writing that down. I'm writing that down.
You said listen, and that's only because I had a couple of friends that were going through like IVF and everything, and that was the I'll be reading their pamphlets and stuff, but also it was a lady on Instagram who had like, they have like 14, I think, and they had like 13 boys, and then like they finally had like one girl, and then she Messed around, got pregnant again, and it's another boy.
Oh no, ma'am.
No,
Y'all should adopt it. Like I don't know what
no,
to tell you.
no,
You just gonna keep having children?
nope,
And well, at least they food
nope.
stamp card, like they food stamp card like busting. Like they can at least get 3, 4, 5,000 a month.
Something, because I be telling folks at this point in my life, my uterus, no, ma'am, no, no,
More power to her. Many
no.
blessings to her and their family.
That's still a no. I'm still saying, I'm like over here, like, no, no.
Yeah, that's another thing about candle magic. Like people can use their birth charts to like literally look when certain planets are going through certain houses, and then make the candle at that time too. That's a bit advanced, honestly. However, it is like a possibility, and I like to sprinkle stuff in sometimes just to show people like this is the possibility from like the angle that I use because this is my thing, and whatever your thing is, develop that so that you can allow your creativity and guidance to take you where you need to go as well. Right.
Right.
Absolutely. Y'all be just dropping the knowledges though, y'all. I'm just say y'all be telling the folks the stuff. I don't know if they listening
If it's you dropping
or
it,
if
don't
they
say nothing.
ready. That's the thing. I think I have one more question about candle magic, and then we can go on and continue. Let me think. Did I ask everything that where's my questions? First of all, they're not over here. Okay. Don't worry about it because I don't know. There was something else that you guys said, and it was hidden, like it was making something go off over here. And I think you were talking about selecting the candles and everything. Um, I do, we talked about the selection of the candles and colors, things of that nature. It's gone. Okay, so the next thing, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep rolling. Let's talk about those sigils.
Yeah, Jean. That's your thing.
Hmm.
Oh, you gonna call me out like that, huh? No, but all right. So now there's several. I'm fucking around. I mean, there are several different methods to create sigils. Um, one in particular that I like to use is like you take a particular phrase, or an intention. Like I don't know if you can see this at all. Other side. Can you see what that says? Probably not. Bring it closer, closer, closer. All right. All right. So what is? Okay. Sorry. It says I am financially free. So one of the big things about like creating a sigil is first off you want to start with an intention that's very definite and put you in the seat of power. So what it says is I am financially free. One of my favorite methods to use is you start to mark out the crap. You start to mark out the letters that are similar. So for instance, like in free, you got two E's. You mark out those. And then we got like say A's. You mark out the A's, and so on and so forth. I don't want to get too long winded on this. What's up?
I was just gonna ask, is it you're talking in the entire phrase or within one word?
Yeah, right. Within the entire phrase.
Okay.
you will mark out like similar letters. Like I said, for the E's in free, the A's throughout the entire phrase, the I's, you know, um, so on and so forth. And so, and I'm more. I'm not. I've never been the type of person to have like definite um, parameters. I like to be more freestyle and kind of create things not only from things that I know, but also kind of channel my higher self, ancestors, or whatever the situation. Wow, the situation requires. And generally speaking, that means that you start off by creating meditation for yourself. First, you get yourself into a calm space where you are clear of intent. You know what you want to do, and then you find a way to express it um, in a way that's not long winded. Because as you see, like I am financially free. Like that's a really small phrase. Um, it's not it's very definite, and you're using your I am principle. Because you always want to come from the standpoint that you are a creator, and I am. If you go back to the Bible, like that's how God explained himself or herself or their self, however you want to see it. Um, so you always want to come from a definite standpoint and have a clear message, clear desire. Um, so like I said, you can eventually mark out letters that are the same.
So while you was talking, I made one. It's called "Bitch Be Gone." So, like, let's talk.
And right,
So
there we go.
yeah, like yeah, that's what I tend to do as well. Like I do a phrase and then like I cross out like the vowels, any repeating ones. And like I write in cursive
Right.
a lot. So my stuff tends to be like look really fancy, but it's not. I just be picking letters like, oh, well, this look cute together. Ooh, boom, and that's what I do. But I don't
Right.
I don't really use it as much. Like when I first started on my journey, I have like a protection sigil, an enhancement sigil, and a couple other sigils. And I'm real, like a typical black woman. I always got a bobby pin somewhere for some reason, but still they be coming up missing. So like sometimes I just like pick up a bobby pin and like carve that sigil into my candle. And like, I don't know if you use it like that or like, how do you use your sigil stuff? Like, do you just put on anything? Like, what y'all do?
So personally, like I do a lot of candle magic as well. So I was gonna do it in my room, but my room is kind of dark right now. I have like several sigils on candles for different reasons: protection, abundance, sexual freedom and manifestation through sex magic. Just I was gonna say like that actually leads to like the fact that I feel like we all have our own individual magic. Like certain things that work for other people may not work for us. You have your own individual magic, and it's best that you again learn yourself, self knowledge as above, so below. The higher part of yourself is influencing, who you are currently. You just have to tune into to it more. Um, but we all have our own special magic that we can create things from. But you have to give yourself like a foundation. And in essence, this is what we're doing here: just giving people a foundation for how they can use sex magic successfully to help them manifest whatever the hell they want. You know, I mean, literally, there's no limits, and that's the beautiful thing about what we do. Like, you know, we're giving people, we're arming them with information and tools that help them manifest the highest version of themselves, which is why I love what we do here on Moist Mondays.
Okay, so listen, like I said, a lot of things that I would do as a kid is coming like super full circle. But I remember we used to have like all these different candles around. We used to have all of these. Oh, she didn't kick me offline. Okay. I'm like, girl, my sister is keeps trying to FaceTime me. All of my devices are being used right now. But I remember as a kid, I used to get over to candles all the time, and I used to carve my name into every candle. As a kid,
Use
every
buffet
time.
life.
I mean, they'd be like, "What happened to this candle?" I'm drawing my name in it. I'm drawing all like little flowers and stuff all over. I stayed doing that as a kid. Had no idea why I was drawn to do that all the time. It would be like a word coming to my head. And I would just carve it into candles all the time. I've been doing this my whole life. Had no clue how all that was connected. That's all I gotta say. Okay. Amen.
Mm-hmm. 6 house planets, man.
Yeah, that Cam said something like somehow something about planets in some house.
You said six house plans. What do you say? What do you say?
Really? Really?
Yeah, sometimes when people have planets in the sixth house, there's a remembrance of back when they like did nature-based practices, and also
Mm-hmm.
they like essentially like witch consciousness is what some people will call it. Like that's just the word people use. It's just like you automatically know what to do. It's natural and inherent in you.
Wow, I just learned something new that explains so much. We'll talk after this, but
Right.
that explains it. That explains it. My Mars is in my 6th house in Taurus, so.
Oh yeah. Joy's there.
Earth. Yeah. Okay. No
That's
doubt.
curious, yeah. But as sigils go for me, I use them in a variety of ways. Most of the times I don't write out words. I like glyphs. I like symbols. So I use the symbols from the main text that I've been working with is called the Picatrix. And the Picatrix is like this old Arabic text of magic that just came back out in like maybe like 20, 30 years ago because they had to translate it again. So that's where I use most of my sigils from. I use incense and I draw sigils in the air, like when I'm setting the scene. Like I take the incense and I like the incense that goes with the energy that I'm doing, and I just draw the sigil like in the air. And then so yeah, I do that too. And then I put it on the candle. And then also I've used my personal concerns to draw sigils in places as well. So yeah, that's what I do.
So I didn't get a chance to finish how I do it, but like I generally do the same thing. What you said, I like to personally include certain letters in my sigil. You know, how many ever letters are left over from what wasn't eliminated from the mark out? You know, and then I create or add in letters, symbols that have a certain significance. So that's all I'm saying. Like, you know, sigil magic is very personal. You know, it's wise to always include symbols or even symbols that are important to you, and then letters that are even still connected to what hasn't been marked out to create a sigil that kind of personifies the energy that you're trying to put out with the sigil that you're creating.
I have a question. Do y'all use numbers at all?
I do.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
It depends how I would use a number. So I've done it once or twice. I've used numbers in it, but it was specifically wrapped up in tantric numerology. So it was like we used the number and then we did the practice. There's a practice that goes with each number. So we did that before we engaged in the activity. So we just like had the number in different places. So we had like, I know the main number we use is 3. So we would just have like 3 candy hearts or like, and then 3 this, 3 of that, just 3 everywhere in the room. And then just like do the practice, which you do a certain practice and then I would just like draw the number 3. And then, so, and we specifically were asking for 3 things as well. So everything, just like the whole thing in general, had to do with 3.
So I actually have a tattoo on the back of my right hand. That's a sigil of protection that I created by myself, and I use numbers quite often. So I use 5. Which is the number of change, expansion, networking, things of that sort. And then 23, which is higher vibration of 5 on the spiritual plane. Again, networking, communication, growth, expansion, things of that sort. And 44, which is a master number, which symbolizes foundation, firm foundation, financial abundance, and foundation on a material plane. So in essence, the tattoo itself, or the sigil, is 72. And at the time when I created the sigil, it was more along the lines of like goetic spirits and the angels that correspond. I don't know if you all know about that, but that was one of the things. I'm not gonna go into depth about that one, but you can create sigils of power with numbers as well as letters, images, all of that. It's called mimetic magic. So that's another subject to itself.
That's interesting because I tend to use my birth month and my birth year because I just really like it. I don't know why I'm drawn to, but I like 12 and I like 77. So I don't really know what that's for. It's just here. It's just what I do.
So about however you use it. It's all about however you use it.
Very interesting.
I'm curious, do you ever find any patterns with if you use one number or the other number, or when one is highlighted? Do you ever experience, like, do you find that you experience like certain types of things?
Is that for me?
Yeah, you, Heather? Yeah.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Like I said, 70, especially 77, it shows up a lot. Just even if it's seven show up a lot in my life.
Mhm.
Youngest of 7, got 7 kids. Things end up happening in 7s a lot of times for me. Um, it's just one of those, especially 7s. They will show up any kind of way. Um,
What's your life path number? Do you
you
know?
know that. Do you know I haven't done any of that on myself?
Let me do this
I
real
know,
quick.
I know. I'm the most difficult person in the world.
Said Charlie.
Send her your entire name right now.
What?
Uh-huh.
Look, okay, so there are 7 letters in my first name and my first middle name.
First middle name. How many middle names you
Yeah.
got?
2.
Oh, I was gonna say. Some folks
And
be having
then
four.
I have two middle names. I still use my maiden name. So my second middle name and my last name both have 5 letters. So, like I said, a lot of sevens will show up, and then like a lot of other, but definitely sevens always show up somewhere.
Got you.
So just wait till that's broken down numerologically. Like, it's gonna be some crazy shit. You can only imagine how many sevens you may have in those names. Like, yeah, we're
Yeah, I don't
gonna.
want to talk about
And, no. After we'll talk. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk. We'll talk. Enough about me. Somebody else. Come on.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much that's what I've already said is pretty much how I use sigils for the most part, especially as far as sex magic goes. And that in what I said, like what I said is the baseline, and then just based off of what I'm doing, it just gets either more or less elaborate than that, honestly. So for me, my sigil magic is pretty simple. It's usually just a symbol, and it just depends when and how I'm going to be implementing that symbol in the act. Yeah.
Okay. So we got a couple of minutes left. Let's put all of this together and just let's do a quick walkthrough as quickly as we can do it as to how or what a sex magic session should look like. Let's start at the beginning and work our way to the end.
Got you. Cool.
It starts in the middle of the day.
So
If you're gonna
first
do it at
off,
night,
setting the intent.
yeah, setting that scene starts like with foreplay for women. We dealing with the woman, we need foreplay to truly get stimulated, um, and to like start early. That's how you set the pre-scene. Then y'all starting to like set in the scene. If you're gonna use candles, go get your candles. Go get all you need. Like, make sure, if y'all want to do it at a certain time, be specific. Talk about what y'all want, what y'all trying to manifest. Real deep, do planetary hours. Like, do you want to do it during the Venus hour? Do you want to do the hour? Like, what you want to do? So
Is everyone getting an Amber Alert right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just got one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
No, I'm not. But I'm in a whole nother state. So
Cali on West Side. So definitely with the candle magic, you want to have a conversation about intention, or if you're doing it by yourself, then like solidify your intentions with the magic that you're gonna do, whatever the hell you do it. That's the big first order. Begin to set your intentions, determine what you need to do. If you need to purchase some things, if you need to, communication with yourself or with a partner is going to be a huge thing. And then set yourself up for success, like Lady D said. Um, and then, once you get into the practice, enjoy it. Like literally allow yourself to, while you're enjoying the process, just allow yourself to visualize and enjoy the energy of what you're trying to manifest. And then, the chance or whatever you have set up. to further substantiate your goals with the candle magic, with the sigil magic. Just create the whole scene or the magic of what you're trying to create.
So okay, so I want to hear from the men, right? I'm about to set y'all up. Okay, cool. So y'all getting ready. What y'all doing? Y'all eat some before? What y'all drinking on? Like what type of music to get y'all in the mood? Like I wanna like walk me through y'all process because I'm nosy.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
But also, how
Yeah.
far in advance are we walking through as
Yeah.
well? Let's talk about that.
Right.
Add that in
Oh
too.
yeah, 1,000%. Oh, I will trust. Yeah. So with that, to me, well, first of all, it depends is always the first answer, right? So it depends on what we're doing and like also how long we've been practicing together, you know, because depending on that, I might already know what's popping. If I know what's popping, then I can get in that space much quicker, you know, or slower, or I might want to build it up slower anyway. So it depends is the first thing. However, it's like setting the intention is first, of course, right? So after I set intentions, then during setting the intentions, we can say like, we're doing this tonight, we're doing this tomorrow, so that's going to tell how far out I'm probably going to plan. And then after setting the intentions, I personally go into so after the intentions, I go to my senses, right? So like, what does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? The thing that we're trying to create. And I'm like literally like embedding that in my being because I'm the container, I'm the holder. So I'm doing that pretty much, like I said, it depends how long I'm doing that. I'm definitely doing it at least a few hours prior to. I might even like change my diet if it's something that we're doing on Friday, which is Venus Day, right? I might be change my diet up and eat more like sweet things and yeah, so I might be doing that too as well. I might be doing like some like different yoga practices. I might do different like meditations in general. So that can get elaborate. So again, depends. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I was like, yeah, flexibility. Like my friends and I were just joking about how men always want you to be flexible, but they can't touch their toes. So like my friend was joking like they be wanting us to have like our knees touching our backs. And so like, that was so hilarious. So like my name on Twitter for like 2 weeks was knees touching back. But I'm glad that you said yoga and stretching.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if you want to be able to do that like with somebody, then you should be able to do it too. Like, and everybody has their strong suits, so I guess that's not fully true, but that's the way that I like to go about it. And also, if I want that to happen, I'm gonna use oils beforehand anyway. So that's another thing about setting the scene. Like, I'm gonna use oils, right? And the oils are gonna go with the intention as well. So I'm going to use a lot of oils and maybe chant while I'm putting the oils on or say like a mantra, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, that's the way I usually tend to like move into it and set it up. Most of it for me has to do with like my body and my vessel and like what energy I'm containing as the holder for the most part, though. That's my thing. I don't know if that fully answers the question. I probably left out a few things that I do, but like I said, it all depends. Yeah. And also I say things, I say little things and like to lead up to it, just asking questions about like, how does this feel? How is it going to feel when this happens? Like, what does it sound like when I'm doing this, when you're doing that? Just to like evoke those senses and like really activate that energy, you know? So yeah, that's my
Are you asking the partner that, or is that the kind of a
I'm
internal conversation?
Asking a partner that, as long as I feel that feels true and comfortable for the both of us, because sometimes I feel like somebody thinking about like that's the last thing I want some people to do, like get overly thinking about it, because then people like how they get in their body, like I'm already probably going to know how the person I'm with is about like being in their body. So if they tend to have trouble being in their body, then I'm not going to ask no questions. I'm just going to use my hands and like put them in their body essentially. So yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. We
Loaded.
said that.
Loaded.
Yeah, because like when you said that, I don't know why. Oh, who is that by? Please excuse my hands with plies. I don't know why that popped in my head. Just like,
It's so funny. It sounds fitting.
listen, what's that with Jamie Foxx? Yeah, like I was like, that's what that like sounded like. Heather want to say something. So
Yeah. What's up, Heather? Just say it, please. I want to hear.
No, I'm nope. When we kill the feed, when we kill the feed.
Okay, got you. Yeah. Yeah, so that's my general process. Yeah. But also the incense, like the senses. I'm all about the senses, yo. Like if I can get that right, then everything's all good. Because the thing about it for me too is like in the way in which I trust myself is like I know what I'm projecting out is like what I deeply, deeply feel. Right. So I want the other person to like just like I want them to like feel it, not think it's necessarily like both. And however, it's like I really want you to feel it. So yeah.
So would y'all ever do sex magic with a person that y'all are not sexually yoked with? Because that tends to be a problem for a lot of people, as in like
what do you mean by sexually yoked? Before we keep moving forward, what do you mean by that?
Like good Christian folk, right? The good Christian, I gotta tip my glasses up for them. So when y'all not sexually compatible, like would you recommend doing this with, or like do y'all? Because you said like if that person is uncomfortable in their body, you help them like get into their body. And sometimes it goes back into like if y'all are actually sexually compatible, because if y'all not, y'all can't be reached to peak together, right? And so like I would just like want to pick your brains with that. Heather, you look like you had something
Let me
to say.
hold on, because I want to add. No, because I want to add to that, because what I want to add to that is just on top of that, would you also use this as a moment to teach or educate that particular partner if you are not in a place where you are sexually yoked with them? Because I think that's a good question to ask, along with, could this also be a session as to where we actually learn more about each other through this act? So
yeah, it could be used for that, I think, and that would be under the realm of Mercury to me, because it's about communication and like figuring stuff out, and also Mercury has play to it, and that would have to be part of the intention of like figuring things out, like and if I was to do that, I also feel like it would be two individuals coming together as individuals rather than trying to make it like this thing where we're unified in our communication. It's like more about like learning and communicating and like doing that together. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're not with the same kinks though, and you need certain things to get you like, I don't know, maybe I'm like reading too deep into this, like because like for me, I would, but I'm also the person, I tweeted this earlier today, I'm also the person that if we don't even have like the same, like we won't even say libido, but we don't like the same things in sex, like I stop talking to you. So we can't even get to that point.
See, okay, now we're going back to this journal, because this is the thing though. What I can see this working, because especially if you have a person, let's just say you are engaging with a person that just doesn't have a wealth of knowledge sexually, period. And this is the opportunity to introduce them to things that they're willing to learn. They just don't know, and they're not even sure how they feel about it because it's never been introduced to them. So this could also be a time to do those things so that you can get to that point where you're like, hey, well, I've never done that, but I'm also open to learning about it. You know,
But
I
I'm
could
talking about the people
see
who
it
are open
working.
to learning. I'm not.
Yeah,
I was
Oh,
saying about the
oh no,
people who are
no.
not even open to learning. Like, dude,
Oh, well,
all
then
right,
throw
be
them in the
blessed,
street.
sir. Yeah, that's what I do. So that's why
I'm
I'm
always
saying.
down for
So
people to not want to explore in that way too, though, right? Like if somebody knows exactly what they want and they feel like I don't bring that, I'm down for them to just like, be able to like cut that off or end it when they need to. I feel like that's healthy for me and the other person, honestly, because that keeps my ego out of the way. Because if I'm coming with this intention to like learn how to communicate with that person, then I should be able to also like let it go if they feel like it's not true for them.
okay.
Okay. Okay. I can hear that.
I just have a thing about like. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mm-mm.
I'm just rolling stuff. Go.
I just feel like connection is a huge thing. If you don't have the same desires, then it's kind of hard to introduce sex magic to a equation where one person is not comfortable with their sexual energy. It takes two people who are comfortable in their sexual energy to create a sex magic union that is, what's the word? Give me some help, y'all.
Potent.
Yeah, there we go. Yep, exactly. So it takes two people who are secure in who they are sexually to create a sexual union that is magical as fuck. You can get on some unicorn shit with that. But it's so important that both people are on a journey to find themselves comfortable in their own sexual energy. That's the fucking foundation. That's how you set the root. When they're comfortable there, then there's nothing that cannot be built upon that. So that's got to be paramount.
But what if that's part of the journey? What if
Then you
part
really,
of the journey?
well, y'all need to go on that journey before y'all perform sex magic, because you're gonna mess up your intention and you're gonna mess something up. Because it's so
But
potent.
what if the intention is to become more sexually free or more, open? Like, what if that is the intention?
Okay, well that's great, but other than that, don't be trying to manifest no apartment, no house, no $20,000.
Oh,
And
right,
y'all
for
not
sure.
there.
That's right, exactly. That's why I specifically said like it would be like a Mercury thing, right? Because it would have been about like communication and like play and like trying to figure stuff out, because that would be the intention.
Right.
And also, I didn't say this, but there's also things, if things quote unquote don't go how they should, even though that's not even a real thing to me, there's like practices you can do to like burn through basically like bullshit and like purify the situation and circumstance before y'all keep it moving. So that's
Okay. All right. Got it.
Heather, what do you have to say? Say more, please.
Nothing. Because I'm always gonna offer the pushback. Like, listen, okay.
I want to know. I want to hear it. I'm all for it.
Me too.
Because the way I look at things is because, like, of course, I think that, people end up with whoever they end up with at that moment for a specific reason. And maybe your reason is to show me in all of my apprehension what it is that's going on. Definitely, I'm not saying, let's try to manifest $10 million, but maybe I'm just trying to manifest an orgasm that I've never had. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's like the smaller goal within everything. And I don't know that I'm comfortable enough to do this because maybe I've never gotten into a place with someone who made me comfortable enough. And maybe because you've offered the information and the idea to me makes me curious enough, not necessarily sure, but curious enough to want to try this with you and entrust you with my sexual journey so that I can learn those things and so that I can get to the next point where I'm like, listen, I have boundaries and I want you to push my boundaries because I just don't know what I want and what I don't want. So within this journey, while we're manifesting, while we're doing all this stuff, like I'm on board with you. I'm ready to do all the stuff. I just don't know where to go. So if you would just push me a little bit farther than where my comfort zone is, then maybe we can see on the other side of that what we got going on. That's all I'm saying. I'm just like, listen,
Yeah.
do we have to throw the baby out with the bathwater?
No.
But that's I feel like that'd be preparatory things though, and before engaging in it fully, you know. Not to say that you can't do it. It's just like those I'm like preparatory explorations prior to actually engaging in like the official shebang bang, let's say.
Sex
So
magic.
yeah,
Because that's a scientific word.
yeah, exactly. That's the professional term for it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, that's just all I'm offering. I'm just offering, just different ways to look at it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So with sex magic, like communication is the hugest thing. You have to communicate with your partner. If you're doing it with your partner and even with yourself, you have to be clear about your intentions, be clear about your practice, be clear about your execution. And then your magic is so much more potent when you operate that way. But operating from a standpoint of, for sure, insecurity is not the best. You won't get the results you're looking for. So always be completely clear as much as possible about your intentions, about creating what you desire. Especially with sex magic.
Okay. Now, you know what? That sounds like a good note to end on. So, anything else y'all want to add before we get up out of here?
Yeah, just for everybody, just taking everything as information to have discernment with, and take your time and like really be with it, and just like really feel into your truest truth. Don't just go out there doing stuff haphazardly. Yeah,
have fun with it, because sometimes people like get into like, oh, I have to do this. This is so we do this. No, have fun, feel it, touch, taste, whatever. Like, have fun with it, because that's actually how things manifest the quickest. If you have this blocked energy about like, oh, you got to do this, this, and this. No, just flow with it. Like, you've already discussed, you've already talked with yourself or with a partner or partners, whatever you do, and just have fun. Like,
right.
Just have fun.
Manifest your own magic. Manifest your own magic, for sure. Be comfortable in your own magic.
All right, got it. All right, here comes the fun part when we tell everybody how to reach y'all. I just want to first say thank y'all for joining us these past 4 weeks. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of good conversation online and offline, and definitely looking forward to doing something else in the future with y'all. And like we told y'all, we're not going to hold y'all up for the rest of, the next couple of months, but we definitely will do something again in the future. I feel like we're going to have to do a second part to this, but yeah, so thank y'all for showing up. So we're going to ask y'all, how do we reach y'all? Lady D?
Okay. On all social media platforms, my handle is Lady D Emerald. Let's see what I can say. So my ancestral readings are extended until July 10th now. The last day to purchase any candle from me is on the 30th, so in a couple of days. And I have a basics in mediumship class that I'm finally doing on July 10th. You can click the link or type in the link and to sign up for it. And so, yeah, that is how you guys reach me. And to the next person, I guess.
All righty, ma'am. Thank you. Come on in here, Cam.
Yeah, so you can reach me on Instagram at CADream6, and then you can find my website as such. You can also hit me up on Instagram and shoot me a direct message and let me know you found me here. And there's ways that we can work together for your sexual health as far as it relates to astrology and or herbalism. So that's something that I would offer here. And then I do general readings. I do holistic health readings. I do herbal consultations. I also practice Reiki specifically if you're in Memphis. And yeah, that's what I'll say for now. If you want to find any of my work, you can go on YouTube, or you can just go on Google and type in Cameron Allen astrology, and I should be the first thing that pops up. So it's pretty easy find. I also practice yoga, and I'm still blossoming in that way. So yeah, finding practices around that can be really, really helpful in one's life for a multifaceted purposes. So yeah.
That is awesome. Come on over here, Gene.
Mm-hmm. Yo. So I'm Gene Williams of Premier Fitness Memphis. I'm a certified 200-hour YTT yoga instructor, certified yoga Pilates instructor, certified personal trainer, certified nutritional counselor, and I help people create their best physical health, mental health, spiritual health through the dynamics that I present myself with. And if you need any personal training, yoga instructing, or anything from that standpoint, or even corporate yoga specifics, it'll be awesome because I've been in that practice for over 10 years. So hit me up from those standpoints, and I can help you achieve your best life from there.
All righty. And of course, y'all, I'm Heather from Heather's Passion Academy. Of course, you can find me heatherspassionacademy.com or YouTube, Heather's Passion Academy. If you're looking to schedule your sexuality or intimacy coaching with me, I am a certified clinical sexuality and intimacy coach and a master sexpert. You can go to the website as well to look for your favorite bedroom candy items. That is the company that I promote for sex toys at this point until further notice. And then also, like I said, look out for some more information coming because one of the things I will incorporate in some of my sessions in the near future will be tarot reading for your relationship as well, because someone on this newsfeed told me I needed to. So I think I should go ahead and do that before she says something else bad to me. So again, we thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate you all. We really appreciate you all coming out and hanging out with us this evening. We know it's late. Sometimes it's just how our energy runs, and we just let things happen the way that it does. And we appreciate y'all for allowing that to happen. Thank you all so much. We don't know what we're going to do next time. We are going to take a little bit of a break because, we all deserve it. And we'll come back. Definitely, Moist Mondays will be back, not next week, but we'll let you guys know when we'll be back again. And again, appreciate Lady D and Cameron for spending the last few weeks with us for the Sex Magic series. And we'll let y'all know what's happening next. And we'll also give you updates on what's going on with them as well. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening and have a good holiday if you celebrate 4th of July. But we ain't gonna side eye y'all yet. But we might. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your evening. Goodbye. Y'all say bye.
Hey, peace and love.